Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our latest edition of Chats with Legends. Today we'll bring you this very special guest, multi-award-winning singer and songwriter. Today we'll be talking with Rock Michaels, who's going to tell us about his path, his career, and what he's willing to achieve in the next couple years. So stay tuned and don't forget to follow us on our social media. So it's a pleasure to have you here on Chat with Legends, and it's a privilege and honor to be able to talk with you and know a little bit more about what you've been doing in the later years, in the last years. I mean,
Sure. No, happy to come on and share my journey so far and talk with you for sure.
so can you tell us how is Denver today? How is California? How is your life? How are things going?
Sure. Thank you. So yes, I live in Danville, California, which is a small town about 40 miles east of San Francisco. So I'm in the San Francisco Bay Area.
Yeah.
And it's today it's a little cloudy. We're going to get some rain, much needed rain, but it's beautiful out here. A lot of diversity. The ocean is close by, which I love to go to, and we've got wine country, Napa. We can ski. We can drive a few hours to ski, and so there's a lot of diversity out here, and it's just a beautiful area. People don't always realize how big of a state California is. If I wanted to drive to LA, it might take 7 or 8 hours just to get there. I've lived here my entire life, and so that's sort of where I'm from. Happy to share a little bit about myself if you like.
Yeah, yes.
Sure, yes. So I grew up. My parents gave me piano lessons when I was 5 years old, which at the time there weren't a whole lot of options as there are today. We did not have the internet way back when, and so I had that exposure to the piano, which was wonderful. Uh, I did not appreciate it as much then as I do now. And I would always come back to it and play. And after high school, or in college, I was in a band with some friends. And basically, I had written some songs, but I didn't know what to do much with. And really, just a few years ago, I had all these songs that I had written that were, I like to say, just collecting dust on the shelf. I wasn't doing much with those songs.
Yeah.
And I figured I'd like to at least get it out there. And if nothing else, leave a legacy for my children. If something were to happen to me, it's almost like a living diary that I'm putting out there of, dad's silly thoughts and my emotions. So that was the reason for trying to get some songs out there, and it's really taken on a life of its own. I'm now going to release my 30th song in February, and it's been a really rewarding journey so far.
Can you tell us, do you still remember how it all started as a songwriter? Can you tell us about your inspiration, people that have motivated you to be the songwriter you are today? How it all started? Can you take us back from the first step you gave as a songwriter?
Sure. That's a fantastic question. I never really thought when I was younger that I wanted to be a songwriter. So I've always been had an appreciation for music, listening to music growing up, the 1970s and 80s, and some wonderful artists. And I think at times it's easier to express yourself, at least I'll speak for myself, in writing. I take my time to put my thoughts down as opposed to having a live conversation. So it was a good outlet for me to express what I was feeling, and I've found that we all, even though we come from different backgrounds and different experiences and different geographic locations,
Yeah.
you know, we all want to feel love. We all want to feel acceptance. We all feel joy and pain. And those are common threads that can unite us all.
Yeah.
And so my hope is through songwriting, as I express what I'm feeling, there might be a few others that might connect. And
Mm.
that's really the greatest reward to me.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how songwriting came about, other than I loved music and it was an opportunity to share my thoughts. And here I am.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. That's amazing. So can you tell us about the process of conceiving an idea? I know that it might be a little bit difficult to let's say to think about different songs, different topics. Because writing a song is somehow a way to portray people's life, to talk about that person who is in pain, to talk about that person who is in love, to talk about that person who is following his
Right.
goal, his dream, etc. Can you tell us about the process of conceiving an idea for a song?
Sure. And I think there are many ways to go about it. I don't know if my way is necessarily the correct way or not, but it's what I do. I've found early on it's a lot easier to write about real life experiences than to try
Mm,
to make something up, because
mm,
I have those experiences that I can draw from.
yeah,
Uh, and so, we've all lived a little bit and we've had our experiences. When I was first starting out many, many years ago, I would write about, you know, girlfriends breaking up with me and, silly things like that. And now I'm
yeah,
fortunate. I'm in a position where I'm a parent. We have two wonderful children. I can write about parenting and
yeah. That's
and
amazing.
perspective and social awareness causes that are meaningful to me.
Mm,
As far as where the ideas come from, sometimes I'll get an idea, a theme in my head. Other times I'll be goofing around on the guitar or the piano and I'll come across a melody.
mm,
Whoops. And so I have a stockpile of fragments of song ideas. And uh, every now and then I'll go to and try to see if I can match a melody with a theme. I'll ask myself, if I play something, what
mm.
is this feeling that's created? Is it a joyous feeling? Is it a dark feeling? And it's just a constant process. I'll also add, thanks to technology, with our phones,
Yeah.
if I wake up in the middle of the night with an idea, I'll make an audio recording on my phone because inevitably the next morning when I wake up, I'll forget about it. So I've got a
Yeah.
lot of audio files on my phone with ideas, and
Have
it's
you have
it's
you have you
24/7.
have you ever recorded something during the night and you woke up in the morning and say like, well, what was I doing when I recorded this file? I mean, sometimes you may record something that the next day you feel like, oh man, you wasted your time about when you recorded that audio. Did you ever experience something like that? Recording something uh, a day later you think like, well, there's nothing to enjoy in this thing that I recorded that night.
Sure, all the time. Like I said, I have a large supply of fragments, pieces of songs that I'll probably never pursue. And in the moment, I might think, "Oh my goodness, I have to record this."
Yeah,
And absolutely, and the next day or a day later, okay, I'm going to push that to the back of the pile. But you never know, because every now and then I may come across something and it sticks, or it resonates with me, and I want to pursue it. And
mm,
someone asked me once, "Well, do you block off time during the day to record?" And my answer is no. It's difficult for me to say, okay, I'm going to allocate the next 2 hours to writing, because I never know when ideas are going to come to me. So, like I said, it's 24/7, and I just have to go with it when I come across an idea, And more often than not, nothing happens to it. But every now and then, if I think there's something there that I'm proud of and I would be proud to share, I'll go with it. So it's a constant process.
But what do you do when you feel blocked? Because many times artists might feel like blocked without inspiration to build a new idea, to build a new to write a new song, etc.
Right.
What do you do when you feel blocked? What are the techniques you use when you have to work but you feel blocked?
Sure. I think that's a question that we all can relate to in one form or another. Um, I try not to force it. For me, if I can't make some progress and I feel like I'm just spinning my wheels and not being productive, I will set it aside and I will move on to other aspects of my life and I will do something. And the wonderful thing about music and ideas is you can always come back to it.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. I have some ideas that are a few years old. So fortunately for me, I'm an independent artist, so I'm not pressured by a label to say you have to release 10 songs in the next year. I can go at my own pace. Um, and that just makes it easier for me, takes the pressure off. I just want the ideas to come naturally and organically and on my own schedule. But again, a lot of different ways to go about it. So that's just what works for me.
But are you happy with your path? When you analyze your first step and where you are right now, do you think you're making some progress? Are you happy with what you have achieved until now?
Yes, there's an expression, try to see the forest for the trees. And what's meant by that is try to appreciate what's in front of you right now.
Yeah.
And, it may or may not lead you to, another goal, but if you just focus on the end result and don't appreciate the journey, you're probably going to be disappointed. So I try. Am I happy? I'm. It's been a very rewarding experience so far. Even if I get, a few listeners or a few streams, I think at the end of the day, you have to be proud with what you put out there. And the biggest benefit to me is if I'm playing live and people are nodding and they appreciate the song, or if I get comments, people listen to my song on streaming and they say, "Oh, I love this, I can relate." That's the best reward for me. Just trying to make those connections, whether I get 100 streams or 1,000,000 streams, that would be wonderful, but that's not going to be my source of happiness. So.
But where are you willing to go? I mean, where do you see yourself 5 years from now? You might have some goals, some you want to achieve as a songwriter. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now, 10 years from now?
Well, the wonderful thing about songwriting is that there's really no age limit. As long as I still have my my mental capacities, hopefully I'll be able to continue to write songs. I don't know what's going to inspire me in 10 years, but I'm keeping an open mind. So, 10 years from now, I would love to continue to be making songs and putting songs out there, playing out if I can. And again, those, not to oversimplify it, but I think there's a good chance I'm not going to fill out Wembley Stadium anytime soon. But that's okay. Like I said, seeing the forest for the trees, trying to appreciate. There's so many beautiful moments along the way, and I think I just need to keep that in perspective, and that can be a great source of joy. So if I can continue to do what I'm doing, for me, that's a great reward.
People say that sometimes what pleases us the most is the trip, not the destination itself. I mean, you have to enjoy the trip because you're sure that you arrived there. Sometimes people say like it's important to enjoy the process than focusing only to the destination because we never know what might happen up there.
Absolutely. And I think you can fall into a trap. You can say, okay, I want to, sell 1 million copies of a record. And then if you reach that, okay, then you're always striving for something more. It's a difficult balance. Not to say that those aren't admirable goals to have, but you need to balance it with taking pride in what you've accomplished along the way.
Yes.
Like I said, if you just focus on the goals and miss what you're achieving, more often than not, that's a recipe for disappointment. So and I think that applies to all aspects of life, not just music. Whatever your goals are in life, just
yes,
try to appreciate the days and the beauty all around. And sorry, I'm on my iPhone, so I keep getting notifications. I apologize.
no problem.
And yeah, so in fact, you made me think of a song, one of my songs. It's called Chase the Morning Sun. And basically the idea is you wake up each morning and you try to grow, you try to go and move forward, but the reality is you're probably never going to catch the sun. That's not the point. The point is to continue to move and experience the beauty that life has each and every day.
Yes. So you wrote A Better Man, you wrote Stars, and you wrote a song about us. Can you tell us about the process of creating this song and what they mean to you? Is there any special meaning, a special feeling when you think about these songs?
Yes, thank you. So, like I said, I've written 29 songs that are out there already, and the 30th will be in February. It's I was intrigued by how you chose those three, but every song has special meaning and has its own special origin. You mentioned Stars. It's kind of like children. You're never supposed to say which child is your favorite. So,
okay.
I don't. I love each child just as much as the other one. Some days I love one child more than the other.
Yeah.
So stars is a metaphor. It's really about, regardless of our backgrounds, our size, whatever our status is, or whatever our perceived status is, we all deserve to be treated as equals. And it's a very simple concept. So it's sort of a commentary on society. But then I use the metaphor of stars. There are billions of stars in the sky. There are billions of people on Earth. We're all different sizes and shapes. Why do some stars seem to shine more than others? Well, it's not how much they shine, but it's how we see them. So that was sort of the message for Stars. You mentioned Better Man.
Better Man, yes.
Yes, thank you. So over the years, I've written songs about when I first started, about ex-girlfriends, and then I would write songs about my experiences in the good old days. I wrote songs about our children. I even wrote a song about our dog, and I figured I really better write a very good, wholehearted song about my wife. So that was a song that I wrote for my wife, and the message of Better Man is it's sort of a rites of passage. When I was single, I was really just focused on myself.
Yes.
But as I got married and had a family, it's that next stage where I'm living for more than just myself. I'm living for other people, and the message is she's made me try to be a better man, and so that's kind of a special one. And I believe the third one you mentioned was Song About Us, which also happens to be another ballad about my wife. I have a variety of songs, some fast, slow, guitar, piano. Song About Us is sort of just a chronology of our life. My wife and I got married. Shortly after we got married, I had a medical scare and I almost died, and I'm fine. then we had children, and it's just we shared this story that I turned into a song. You know, the lyrics are, if I were to write a song about us, I'd have so much to say. So it is a song about us. And that too is sort of it's a personal song. And I think, you know, as a songwriter, you have to be willing to share your
Yes.
vulnerabilities. You
Yes.
know, not everybody's going to relate, but I think that's what makes it authentic, at least for me. And like I said, it's hard to fake things, you know, so I have to write about my own personal experiences that are easily accessible, and I put it out there, and I hope, you know, people might like it and embrace it. Um, that's a synopsis on those three songs that you mentioned.
It's easy to say that your family plays a huge, important role in your career, isn't it?
Yeah, they do. They you know, we have shared experiences every day and over the years, you know, the birth of our children, and, you know, graduating and going to college and this and that, and it's these are special moments that we all share, and
Yeah.
so it consumes, you know, that's a very big part of um my being, just my family. And so it I didn't really consciously think about it, but it's just natural for me to draw upon that. um so yes, very big part for me.
Mhm. So you're an award-winning songwriter. Can you talk about the meaning of these awards you have? And can you make some analysis when you what is the importance of these awards when you uh, analyze your career, when it all began, and this whole process, when you look to the challenges, when you look to the rains, to the funders, etc. What are the meaning? Do you think this award has a certain meaning when you think about being recognized by what you're doing right now? What are the meaning of these awards?
Yes, thank you. I'm very grateful. I didn't start out thinking, you know, trying for awards. um it's um it's really wonderful to know that, like I said, songs that I'm writing that are from the heart are recognized in one form or another. In fact, Better Man, you mentioned, was nominated for Song of the Year by, there's an organization called the Josie Music Awards, and that was a special honor because I think only 3% of all the uh, submissions received a nomination, and so that made me feel very special that I did not win, but it was still, in all seriousness, an honor to be nominated among the top, you know,
Yes,
3%.
yes,
And it, it's 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 even more special because, like I said, I don't always know if people are going to engage with my songs. I have to stay true to myself, um, and but to know that others connected in one way or another, like I said, that's the greatest gift I can receive. So it's motivation to continue to, you know, just try to share my experiences, and you know, hope that others can relate as I continue to write songs, and it's just a joy.
but how do you analyze the music industry? Many people have been saying that, oh, we're losing the real meaning of producing or writing a beautiful song, because many songwriters or singers have been more focused on making money than, let's say, spread the beautiful message to the world. How do you
Yeah,
access this? How do you see? What is your point of view when you look to the music industry? Because the same happens to the film industry, but looking to to the music industry, how do you access these
right.
all factors? Do you think we're lacking something, or we're just ignoring the idea or the need of producing, writing good songs that can impact lives?
Well, I think one needs to ask, what are you trying to accomplish if you're getting into music? Do you want to make a lot of money? Do you want to get a lot of streams? Do you want to get signed? Do you want to make a connection? So everyone has their own answer, and there's no wrong answer. Uh, there's definitely sort of a way to go about trying to make money. Not to say that money is not important, but
Yes.
for me at least, I think because I got a late start and I'm more settled in my life, it was easier for me to just write songs that I think, regardless of whether it makes money or not, that just are true to me. So the music industry has changed a lot, just even in the past 10, 20 years. The independent artists now, with technology, we have so many resources available. You don't have to get signed by a major record label. It still has some advantages, but in fact, I work with a producer in Nashville whom I've never met. That's 2,000 miles away from where I live. But with technology, I can send him an audio file of an idea that I have. He'll
Yes.
send me back, we'll FaceTime. He might hire some session musicians. He'll send it back to me. I lay my vocals and then I send it back to him, and we send these files back electronically. I mean, you couldn't do that 10, 20 years ago.
Yes.
So the industry has changed a lot, I think, in favor of the independent artist. But circling back to the start of your question, I think you have to ask yourself, what do you want to accomplish? Again, if you want to just make money and maybe sacrifice the quality of what you're trying to portray, or you just want to focus on putting what's true to you out, whether it does or doesn't get, generate a lot of money. And each person has to decide that for themselves.
Yes. Yes. Is there any musician, any songwriter you would love to work with when you look to the whole industry? Is there someone you idolize, someone you say like, well, I would like to work with that man or that lady?
Well, I will answer it this way. Growing up, I had a lot of influences, and I didn't realize it at the time, but in looking back, I really seem to place a lot of respect for great lyricists, those who could write great lyrics. So artists that come to mind were Simon and Garfunkel, James Taylor. I grew up enjoying the Eagles. These are, music from the late 60s
Yes.
and 70s.
70s,
I mean,
yes.
there's so many wonderful artists today from so many genres. My kids have introduced me to Post Malone, and I think Taylor Swift is a phenomenal artist.
Yeah.
Today, I love to listen to artists such as John Mayer,
Yeah. Amazing.
the Zach Brown Band. So it's across the
Amazing.
spectrum.
Yes, yes, I do love it. Today I was listening to John Mayer, and the one that's amazing. Just a fantastic musician.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
I agree. But there's so many great musicians out there.
Yes,
It's a
yes, yes.
crowded field if you want to try to break in. But again, it goes back to what are your goals? What are you trying to accomplish? So a lot, and with YouTube now, you can just go and listen and see how they play their songs and try to replicate that. So it's a lot of opportunities to try to emulate what some of the great musicians are doing.
So before we finish our chat, is there any message you could leave to the world, to young dreamers, peoples around the world who are thinking about giving up? Because following our dreams is not an easy task. Oftentimes we think about giving up, then keep punching, keep pursuing what we believe that is our main goal. Is there any message you would love to leave to these people, to these dreamers, to these youngers all over the world?
Sure. And I what comes to mind isn't just specific to music. I think it's what I'll have to say. I think it applies to all aspects of life.
Yes.
That's number one. Just keep dreaming. But what I try to do and what I'll tell our kids is, at the end of the day, when you put your head on the pillow, you look back and ask yourself, did I grow today? And what I mean by that is, did I do something productive? Did I try to work on a skill? Did I try to, grow physically, emotionally, mentally? Did I read, something that was engaging? Did I practice on, some things that I need improvement on? And if you can look back at the day, look at it day by day and tell yourself, yes, I was productive today. I grew. I bettered myself. If you do that every day, as the weeks and the months go by, you're going to reach some really wonderful levels. Whether it's the end goal or not is to be determined.
Yes.
But again, going back to the start of our conversation, try to appreciate what you're doing along the way, and more often than not, good things will happen.
No, that's amazing. That's amazing. Thank you for this powerful message, Mr. Michaels. It was a pleasure to have you here on Chats with Legends. We hope to have you here in the next opportunities, and we'll be attentive to see or to enjoy your path, your career, and we hope to see you in the bigger productions. In the near future.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you having me on, and best wishes to you as well.
Yeah, thank you. Have a nice day.
You too.
Yeah, bye. Yeah. It was a pleasure to have you there. We felt your presence. We hope to see you in the next episodes of Chats with Legends. See you there.